Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start today's video with a story about an ordinary walk that turned into an unexpected encounter with the Neighborhood Safety Patrol, aka one guy in an Avengers shirt. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Random guy in Avengers shirt decides my stroller placement needs his expert opinion. I'm peacefully walking with my 4-year-old son who's biking and my infant's in the stroller. We do this walk every day in our family-friendly neighborhood where people are out walking all day. I bring a double stroller in case my son gets tired of biking. We're strolling down a quiet street when a white truck passes us, then turns around to park facing us. The guy, mid-30s, clean-cut, wearing a cartoony Avengers shirt, stays in his truck. I'm just minding my business when my son starts whining, asking me to help him put his stuffed animal in the cup holder of his bike. I put the brake on the stroller and still have the strap around my wrist. I quickly turn around to stuff the stuffed fox in the cup holder. It took maybe 3 seconds. As I'm turning back around and letting up the brake, the guy opens his truck door to call out to me from about 8 feet away. He says, "You shouldn't park your stroller there. Someone will be coming home soon and I don't want them to hit your baby." I glance around and I'm parked at the intersection of a driveway and the sidewalk, a pretty standard setup in this neighborhood. There were no cars on the road and none were anywhere near us. It's a quiet residential loop. I'm caught off guard because it's absurd to think that I would have left my baby in harm's way, especially for the 3 seconds it took me to adjust the stroller. The whole thing just felt off. Who would speed down this quiet street and not see a large double stroller right in front of them? I replied with a smile, "I think we're all set." The guy grimaced and said, "Well, I wouldn't want something to happen or someone to get hurt." I probably should have just said, "Thank you," but I responded, "I'm a vigilant mother, thank you." He couldn't let it go and snarked, "Oh, I'm sure you are." It all felt passive-aggressive and unnecessary, which really got under my skin. To make matters worse, my adorable son chimed in, saying he liked the guy's shirt and asked him what was on it. The guy ignored him, opened his car door, pretended to take a call, and then closed the door. The rest of the way down the street, I kept an eye out for any cars coming quickly, but none did. It really seems unnecessary and presumptive for a stranger to give unsolicited advice, having seen you do something like pause in a driveway for an incredibly brief period. I guess I'd assume he lives there or knows the owner of the home, given the reference to "she will be home soon." But it also seems like he went out of his way to watch you and find a way to interject. And our second story. I got tipped $70, delivered duty-free booze, and almost went to Canada by accident. When I was in college, I worked for duty-free at an international airport that mainly served French Canadians. As one of my duties, pre-9/11, I would have to run last-minute orders through security. I would tell the airline staff that I had to deliver the order to the passenger directly because I was part-time and seasonal. I didn't have a duty-free uniform, but was expected to dress very nicely. I did, however, have a lanyard and large ID that proved I had gone through a federal background check. During downtimes, the airport staff got to know employees who worked across the airport, so I was quickly recognized by most airport employees in my terminal. We all also had to take shuttles to our parking lot and saw the same faces day after day. My boss liked to cut sales way too close to takeoff, so I'd have to run to get to a plane with bags of booze, cigarettes, and perfume, and by law, hand any delivery directly to the passenger. While on my second or third run of the day, I knew that my belt buckle would cause the metal detector to beep, so as I'm running, I strip off my belt, throw it to someone who's my security buddy, and finally get inside the Air Canada plane. A few flight attendants recognize me and tease me about my boss being greedy. They send me to deliver, and I cannot find 2 of the passengers. While hunting for Jacques Fournier and Farah Jacques, not passengers' names, I speak Spanish, not French, a passenger asked me for a pillow. I open the bin immediately over his head. I keep calling out the passenger's name and my booming name when additional passengers ask for more pillows. I give the "I'll see what I can do" spiel and keep hunting for my customers. And as I do, I open bins and locate pillows. By now, we're late for takeoff. These 2 customers are either dead, deaf, or skipped the flight, and yet another passenger wants a pillow. This time I tell her to ask a flight attendant as I'm not one. She says, "But you found the others' pillows, why not me?" "Ma'am," I say, "I will see what I can do." She slips me a 20 and tells me I am a good stewardess. I decide that I would have to get off the plane and that our customers would be SOL, but for $20 I would steal a pillow if necessary. I go to the back of the huge plane hunting in overhead bins. As I turn at the bathrooms in the back, I feel the plane taxiing. Oh crap. Simultaneously, I locate the last pillow on the flight. A man comes out of the bathroom. As I start to ask, thinking he must have been sick, "Your name wouldn't be Mr.?" And right behind him comes a woman. They were and seemingly had been in the bathroom together for the entire time that I was looking for them. By this point, I had a $20 airplane pillow and their orders in my hand, and they sheepishly thank me, and he tips me too, $50. I'm stunned. We were moving. And while I had more money in my hand than in my wallet at work, I wasn't remotely prepared to go to Canada. I run back up the other aisle, toss my pillow to the generous old lady, and am yelling to the flight attendants to stop the plane. The takeoff had to be aborted to let me stay in the U.S., but I felt rich and amused as hell. First of all, if I were your boss, I'd give you a medal, a raise, and maybe a free plane ticket to anywhere you wanted after that level of dedication. Who else could keep their cool while literally running down a plane aisle, dodging demanding passengers, delivering orders, and accidentally becoming a makeshift flight attendant? And our last story. When Karen's fantasy of owning my house collided with reality and the police. I live in a beautiful beachside house that my parents own. They work in other states and my sister lives with her fiance, so I take care of the house on my own. It's a lovely property with a well-maintained garden and a pool in the backyard, so it's not uncommon for people to admire it. I also look younger than my age, which sometimes leads to awkward assumptions. I bike everywhere since I don't like driving, and I work at a fast food joint, which often leaves me drained by the end of the day. The cast. Me, just trying to get home and unwind. Karen, the entitled woman who thinks my house is hers. EK, Karen's bratty child who believes the pool is his kingdom. Friend 1 and friend 2, Karen's confused friends. Twins, other kids brought along for the chaos. Police officers, the heroes of the day. The story. It was just another exhausting day at work. I was biking home in my fast food uniform, carrying groceries, looking forward to a hot shower. As I turned onto my street, I noticed a crowd of people blocking my driveway. At first, I thought they were just admiring the garden, but then I overheard friend 1 excitedly say, "Karen, your new house is gorgeous." I stopped dead in my tracks. New house? No houses in the area were for sale, and certainly not mine. I approached the group, trying to get to my garage. Me. "Hey, can I get past, please? I just need to put my bike in the garage." Karen. "Just go around. Can't you see we're busy?" Me. "I'll only take a second. I'm glad you like the house, though. I work hard to keep it nice." Friend 1. Karen lives here now." Me. "Oh, she doesn't. I live here." Karen screeching, "You're obviously trying to break into my house. Get away before I call the police." Me. "No, you need to leave. This is my house." Karen ignored me, barking orders at her friends. I pushed past them and walked toward my garage when I heard splashing coming from the backyard. My heart sank. No one was supposed to be in the pool. Dropping my bike and groceries, I bolted to the backyard. There they were. 3 kids splashing around in my pool. Me. "Get the hell out of my pool." The twins, confused but obedient, climbed out immediately, but not EK. EK. "Mommy says I can swim here, so go away, you stupid bee." Me. "No, get out. I'm not responsible for you drowning." Karen storming into the backyard. "Don't talk to my angel like that. It's his pool." Friend 1, clearly confused. "Karen, what's going on? Who is this girl?" Karen. "She's trying to rob me. Get out of my house." At this point, I realized Karen was spinning her delusions into overdrive. Me. "Prove it. Show me that you live here." Friend 2. "Karen, maybe we should just leave. The kids don't need to be here for this." Me. "Like hell you're going into my house." Karen. "Yes, we are. Now get lost before I call the police." Me. "Go ahead. Let's see how that works out for you." Karen stormed toward the front door, leading her group of confused friends and their kids. She pulled out a key and tried to open the door. Of course, it didn't work. There are only 2 keys to this house, and I had one, my sister had the other. Karen kept fumbling with the lock, making excuses to her friends. Me pushing past, "Excuse me, I'm going into my house now." Friend 2, "Karen, what's going on?" I unlocked the door and slipped inside, locking it behind me. Karen began pounding on the door like a lunatic. "Karen, you can't lock me out of my own home. I'm calling the police." Little did she know I'd already called them. Karen must have realized what was happening because she bolted the moment she saw the flashing lights. Her friends, however, stayed behind, clearly confused. I explained the situation to the officers, showing them my ID and utility bills with my name and address. Karen's friends backed up my story, admitting that Karen had told them this was her house and they were just here to swim and head to the beach. The police told me to press charges for trespassing and property invasion. They advised me to install cameras to prevent future incidents. The next day, I went to the police station and filed charges against Karen for trespassing, harassment, and endangering her own children by letting them use my pool without permission. A week later, I got a call from the police. They'd caught Karen and had her in custody. She tried to argue that it was all a misunderstanding and that she thought the house was empty. When confronted with the statements from her own friends in the police report, she had no choice but to admit her lies. She was fined for trespassing, and I was granted a restraining order. The police also gave her a stern warning for child endangerment. I installed security cameras all around the house, and Marcus even sent over a few extra guards to keep an eye on things for a while. My neighbors found out about the incident and started calling Karen Poolside Pam behind her back. After such actions of Karen, it seems to me that she has mental problems, because it's crazy. Who would think of making such a scene and even inviting friends to someone else's house? Something tells me they stopped communicating with Karen after this incident. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.